This one is kind of touchy, right? Hello, my name is Kina. I am the THEOXPERIENCE. Welcome back to my channel, which is geared towards everything relationships, dating, and loving yourself always. The title of this video, The Straight Girl's Guide to Dating a Lesbian. Before we get into the information, I do want you to like this video. Please smash your subscribe buttons. And then, of course, I want you to comment down below. You guys ready? All right, let's go. So, this is definitely a conversation that needs to be had and needs to be had right now. A lot of my friends are coming to me and they're like, Kina, yeah, I'm off these dudes. I want to see what it would be like to mess with a woman. They're exhausted with men, or they just feel like they want to experiment with the same sex. And I feel like we need to change our verbiage around messing with, because it may be an experiment for you, but it's not an experiment for her. So let's go over some rules to all my straight friends on this channel that want to just go off and dip off with this young lady over here. Starting with number one. You need to be aware of the pronouns. And you need to be respectful of them, right? Because nowadays, if she doesn't want to be called a she, then it's politically incorrect to call her a she, even though she's a she. So you need to use the correct pronouns. Does she want to be referred to as a they, as a he? Is this lady in transition? What are the correct pronouns to use? You need to figure them out, and you need to start using them like ASAP. That is very, very important. They want to be treated like equals, but they also want to be addressed a certain way. So be respectful of what they want to be called at this moment in time. Moving on to number two. If you decide that you want to date someone that is, I'll say, more of a masculine dresser, don't expect them to do everything a man would do as far as the chores. They not always gonna want to change your tire. They not gonna want to kill no bug. If you hear a noise downstairs, they gonna be just as scared as you. Remember, they're still women, even though they may want to be referred to as something else. So you can't just make them take on all these manly roles because they dress masculine. No. Moving on. Please, please, don't expect them to pay for everything. This should be a conversation that needs to be had, actually. Because if they choose to pay for everything, then okay. But typically, girls take turns. They don't necessarily go Dutch, but hey, I paid last time. All right, okay, cool. I got it next time type of vibe. They don't always want to be responsible for all your meals. Again, you're dating them does not mean that they are a man and that they should assume the role of feeding you 3 times, 4 times, 8 times a day, because some of y'all eat all day. So yes, typically you will share the dining bills. Moving on. Please know that you will have to spoil her as well. If you're used to dating men that spoil you, give you flowers, give you candy, give you cards, guess what you'll be doing with your lady friend? You'll also be buying her flowers and spoiling her as well. Again, there needs to be a conversation had around how she wants to be treated as well. Yes, she's a woman, but at the end of the day, every woman wants to be spoiled too. So just don't assume that you're not going to be spoiling her back as well. Moving on. Knowing that you're dealing with versions of yourself. You have to know that this is a woman who has women hormones. So you'll be dealing with versions of yourself. And guess what? You deal with that anyways with these men, because some of them act like girls. But that's another video. But yes, you'll be dealing with versions of yourself, meaning that they may still have a period or a cycle. So you'll be dealing with the hormonal changes that goes with that time of the month. They may have issues that they're dealing with, just woman issues that they're dealing with. So yes, you may encounter versions of yourself throughout this relationship. Now, moving on to number 7. Women are way more territorial over their woman. So I agree and disagree with this one, because I've met men that are super territorial over me as well. But I know that women are like very territorial when it comes to their woman. So straight women, she might be a little bit overbearing. She might definitely want a lot of, I'm not going to say necessarily control, but she's definitely going to be a little bit more clingy. I'll say that. And this, again, is just a generalization. This is not every situation. I'm just making a blanket statement. Moving on. Expect your woman friend to want to be part of the girls' night. So, again, conversation needs to be had around, just because she's a girl, don't mean you can come to all my girls' nights, because on girls' night, I really want to talk about you and how you get on my nerves, or how I like you and I don't know what this is, but you know, I'm exploring this new person. So on girls' night, I want to talk about you. So you can't come. You can't come to all the girls' night. You can come to some, but when I want to go out with my friends and when I want to be with my girls, we really want to talk about you and our other significant others. So yeah, sorry. So expect them straight women to want to be included in girls' night. So conversation needs to be had around that. Moving on. Expect your lesbian lover to be sad if they are not included in family functions or introduced to your friends right away. So yeah, they have feelings, right? They are going to it may feel very sad to them if they're a secret. So, I mean, the conversation, again, needs to be had around what this is going to be for you. So, yeah, expect them to be having feelings of not being wanted, just because you may not be open or ready to explore this in public. Moving on. Forewarn them about straight situations. You a straight girl. You've been straight all your life. You've been out here in the streets. Dudes is used to seeing you with other dudes. Or your ex-dudes don't know that you're exploring this new territory. So you need to explain to your lady friend, hey, we went to this club. They're probably not used to this. So if men come up and try to talk to me, they're used to seeing me with other men, or these are my exes. So we're going into this situation. I don't want you to be offended. I'm just letting you know that, yeah, men are used to seeing me with other men. So I will keep my flirting to a minimum or whatever. But yeah, we're going into a straight situation. And I just want to forewarn you, because men are used to seeing me a certain way. So moving on. This one is kind of touchy, right? Prepare to be judged. Prepare for your friends and family to judge you, especially if you decide to be public with the relationship. They may. I'm not saying that they will. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying that there is a possibility of you being judged. So are you ready for this? Are you ready to have this conversation with your friends and family? And if not, it goes back to her maybe feeling unwanted. So, yeah. Dialogue needs to be had around what this is. Have conversations around labels. Because a lot of straight girls will be like, but I'm straight though. I just mess with this one girl. But I'm straight. I had a couple one-offs, I had a couple, one-night stands, or in college I did this and this and this and this and this. But I'm straight. Whatever you want your label to be. But people might say, oh, you're bisexual, or you're this, or you're that. Are you going to be able to embrace these new labels? Because if you decide that you like a woman and a man, this is called bisexual. So the labels come. It may not be the label that you want to wear, and you can still say that you're straight. But if you're saying you're straight all the time in front of your lady friend, she's going to be looking at you like, girl, go on. What you did last night, you ain't straight. You bi. You bi. So people are not going to believe you. They're going to give you a label, but you can either wear the label or not. It's up to you. Next. We're going to go back to talking about gender roles. If she is a more masculine dresser, doesn't mean she's going to take on a very masculine role. And what I mean by this is sometimes you will still have to be the decision maker, the more dominant person in the relationship. Just because she looks more boyish, whatever, doesn't mean that she wants to take on the man role in the relationship. So conversation needs to be had around the gender roles, if there are any, or will you basically go with the flow and allow things to happen naturally and allow the relationship to unfold naturally. So I think that one is very, very, very important. And I don't think enough conversation is had around that, because all of a sudden, because you straight and you date this more masculine dressing lady, you feel like she's supposed to do everything in a masculine role, and that's not always true. Next. Because she's a woman, don't just assume that she can relate to everything you go through as a woman, because she's a different woman. Just because you go through this every day as a woman, that doesn't mean she can relate to all the issues that come with being who you are as a woman. She's her own woman with her own things, her own issues, her own type of things that she deals with. So don't expect her to know everything you feel just because you're a woman. She don't know. She might not have to deal with what you go through every day. She doesn't deal with what you have to go through every day. She has her own slew of issues, problems, concerns that she deals with on a daily basis. So leave her alone. Allow her to have her own experience as a woman and not be able to relate to everything that you have going on as a woman. Okay? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because that's just common sense. Now, the last one is you need to set clear boundaries with her around men and how you're going to deal with men. Are you still going to flirt with men? Are you going to openly say that you're, again, straight around men? What are you doing around men? The conversation needs to be had, because she's like, are you off men now? Do you like me? What are we doing? This and this and this and that. So the conversation needs to be discussed around what are you doing with men. Now, that leads me into my last blanket statement, which should really I have opened up with. But just because you are experimenting with her doesn't mean she's experimenting with you. This is her life. You want a one-off. You want to go play over here. I'm going to see what this feel like, and I'm going to just play with her. But that's not fair. Because she's not playing with you. Unless you've openly discussed what this is from the beginning. If you openly discuss, like, hey, I'm just wanting to see what this is, what my feelings are, where this goes, and I want to do this with you. For me, that sounds like I want to experiment, right? But who wants to be an experiment? Who want to be experimented with? This is a whole lady with feelings, with desires, with emotions, with her whole life. Now you've come in because you want to play, and she ain't ready to play with you. That's why domestic violence between lesbians is so high, because straight women want to come in and play, but she don't feel like playing with you. So you need to have a very adult, mature conversation about what this is going to be from the beginning. And don't nobody feel like experimenting with you. So if you want to have a real relationship, or you want to have a friendship with benefits, or whatever this is, you need to have a very clear conversation with her, because she is a person with emotions, with love in her heart that may develop for you while you playing. So just really be mindful of what you're doing to another person, and ask yourself, how many times have you been experimented with, and did you like it? So that is it for this video. I do want you to drop your stories below about if you've experimented with a woman. What was the outcome? Did these questions come up? What other questions is it? Should we have a part 2 to this discussion? But yes, be kind to one another, love one another, and until next time, I love y'all. Please make sure you have subscribed, and please like this video. I will see you guys next time. You guys take care.